Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going over to Bitcoin. Big got the CoinsKid crew. So the CoinsKid crew is absolutely smashing this market right now. I see you in the Discord, on Twitter. I see some of you absolutely smashing these pullbacks on Bitcoin and these opportunities that we're riding, especially in XRP as well. Wow, XRP's almost got to that target. When everyone last week was saying it was going to go to 20 cents and things like that, we was looking at pullback into that 54 cent zone. And right now it's almost got there, hasn't it? So it's on its way. And like I said to you, patience is key with XRP. So we're trying to ride the waves up and down, but this is what we do. You relay anything we see on this channel and always go against the herd mentality and always look for those 5 waves to counter them, whether or not it's an ABC or just a move back up, an impulse back up or whatever. The 5 waves is the boss. Okay, get it into your charts, and I teach you this on a daily basis. So right now, like I said to you yesterday, there was another little sweet spot for Bitcoin, wasn't there? And it absolutely come down and nailed that sweet spot, and right now it's come back up. Okay, so I think from yesterday, even if you've entered that particular trade that I pinpointed out to you, you'd still be up, but from last week we was looking at that low, and then we came back in an ABC. That was a beautiful little entry point for the CoinsKid crew. We come back in another ABC on Saturday. I think Saturday or Friday it was that I pinpointed to the absolute dollar and cent, and so far so good. We keep nailing these positions. So what's going to happen to Bitcoin? So for me personally, I've actually right now, and I'll be honest with you, I've took some profit off the table, because this is what you do. You always take profit, you always pay yourself. If you're in any position and you're making a good bit of money, always pay yourself, okay? Because obviously it can revert and go the other way, but don't be too greedy, just pay yourself, and this is what we do. So right now, still remain partially in my long, but what I'm looking to do, if we consolidate here between these EMAs and we build a foundation between these EMAs, I will look to add to that long position and build up a more, a strength to attack this golden ratio right now. So Bitcoin is looking good. I can't get too bearish just yet. So the macro move for me at the moment, it still remains if we hold this low. Obviously it's a big if, so at the moment I'm looking for Bitcoin to just go many moons right now, holding that low, and this is something you can be patient and wait for. Obviously if it breaks out, it's going to absolutely confirm this, but if we can build a base on this low right now, 24959, then I think we're really increasing the probabilities of breaking the month here. But 31821, and then we're looking at a minimal march towards that 369991. But I think Bitcoin could actually be in a bigger move here. When people are really fearful and really doubtful, I actually think that Bitcoin could be looking for this target up here, the 2618 at 47k, which has been my target since the start of the year when we broke out that resistance in January. Okay, it was on all the thumbnails. So far so good. If we break this resistance and start to break out, my next leg of resistance for you is the golden ratio at 28994. Now one thing that Bitcoin is doing here, and not a lot of people are paying attention to, we are actually conforming to this level of resistance, okay, which is something I did expect. Please refer back to the videos last week. I said to you at this point, I expect Bitcoin to run into this resistance, find a leg of resistance of that, consolidate before going again. So my next leg of resistance, okay, if we consolidate here and hold this support below us, which is currently a 10 and 20 golden cross, and the 10 and 20 coming up as well, look at that beautiful support, and equally the 236, because you can clearly see what we've done here. Ran to 236, melted for it, fell back to support, ran to 382, consolidating between EMAs. We've actually got a close below the 55 EMA yesterday. That's technically really nice, but I'm going to say Bitcoin, do apologise, Bitcoin. So if we consolidate in a range here and don't necessarily break down and sweep this low, which is your bull market support right now for me, for Bitcoin, because obviously if we lose that, that's macro bearish in my opinion, and I've told you that, okay? So right now if we consolidate, we start to break this resistance, that's your next leg of resistance, and we really are conforming to this bump and run pattern, so I've shown you this before, but right now the risk to reward on this potential trade is pretty good, okay? And I'm going to show you what I'm looking at right now, because if I'm right, and it is a big if as well, there's obviously no guarantees, you could potentially say, okay, well I'm looking at a potential gain here to get to the 1618, which is around about 36% for a potential loss of what? If it sweeps this low, risk to reward is around about 7.97%. Okay, so you could wait for any kind of significant pullback back down to the 236 to reduce your risk, basically. But at the minute, say, okay, we're looking at consolidation, then the breakout. So from this point right here, if we get to the 1618, we're looking at a 36.83% appreciation for what, a 7% loss, because obviously that's where you set your stop loss, because that negate this trade going forward. Do you understand? So at the minute, I think there's a lot of substance and a lot of probability that this trade will play out because of the pattern that we're creating, the conforming to the resistance, conforming to the fibs, conforming to this neckline as well. So it's all there, it's in a chart. So if, for example, I am right, and this is the beginning of a massive move here for Bitcoin. You know, a large retracement that we've been in since the start of the year to this point of resistance just there in this trend line, which is equally the larger macro bump and run reversal pattern that I've shown to you many times as well. If I am correct, and we are actually looking over the next few months leading into the year, looking to get to the 2618, then the risk on this trade is even greater. The risk to reward is greater because look, we've got 74% potential gain for a 7.8% loss. So again, you know, you could kick back, relax, chill out, wait. It's entirely up to you. Wait for a pullback, wait for a significant correction to confirm this. But, you know, you're looking at its potential scenario right now. So again, this is just all a game of probabilities, isn't it? There's no guarantees, there's no certainties. This is why, you know, risk management right now. So if you're prepared to take the risk, that is potentially what's in front of you for the loss, basically. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do, but I'm just relaying the data to you. So right now, Bitcoin, one thing it's doing is conforming at the moment to this level of resistance, which is nice. Okay, so far this is actually playing out. If I show you, this bump and run pattern is playing out, and this is something I did pinpoint to you and bring to your attention last week. Okay, I didn't see anybody else talking about this particular pattern, and so far, look at it. So you've got your high, which is here, then you've got your secondary high, which is here, and then you came down, back tested it and dropped. So this is secondary high, back tested it and dropped. So in my opinion, at this point here, we retrace some kind of bull trap, then a final bear trap. Last capitulation, shake out all the weekends, some kind of bear trap, grab liquidity, and what did you do? You ran into this resistance. So this point last week, I was showing you this leg of resistance here, and this trend line will, you know, come up into retrace it, and it's a key thing at that point. What's it going to do? So at the moment, you can clearly see the bump and run pattern sort of found resistance on it for a bit and then broke out. The next leg of resistance that this particular pattern does usually run into, you know, is this support that's been lost just there. Look at that. So you run into it, you can come back to the neckline, hold support, build a double bottom, and away you go. You know, you've got your bump and run reversal playing out right there for Bitcoin. You know, so at the minute, we're kind of doing that, aren't we? So the pattern at play is valid and it's invalidated away. So how is this particular pattern invalidated? So the way it's invalidated, obviously, is if it starts to break down and loses the low from once you've come. So at the moment, you've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. At the moment, you've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. So it's playing out, isn't it? You've got your resistance retest, your resistance retest. If you break, fall back to support, fantastic. You break, you fall back to support, fantastic. Everyone's going to get ultra bearish again. Oh no, it's going to zero. But effectively, there's your resistance, there's your support. And you break it, you're making a series of high highs and higher lows, okay? And then the risk of that, you know, potential scenario of coming up to these levels of resistance above, which is again just a macro bump and run pattern playing out for Bitcoin, which I pointed out to you at the start of the year in January. It's looking pretty fruitful. So again, this is your key support for this particular scenario to play out, which is an area where you could just be applying your stops for this potential, you know, high risk, high reward to pretty minimal risk, to be fair. So again, it's entirely up to you what you do. I'm not your financial advisor. All I do is relay the data to you, but so far so good. Since the start of the year, we've been nailing these moves, okay? We've been absolutely nailing these moves for Bitcoin. So I hope you enjoyed that update. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice. If you want to go short, you want to go long, you know, you want to spot position, whatever, all the links are on CoinsKid.com and in each and every single video description. Take care, everyone. Back soon with an update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. I apologize for the mess. Bye-bye.